Hey guys, long time no see. Probably been, I don't know, 3 weeks maybe since we've been out in the shop. Between holidays and all that stuff, and then I've been under the weather for a couple of weeks. And so I'm just now getting back out here. I think where we left off on the last video, we'd got the car all back together and got it running and was waiting on getting it tuned. So we did that, we took it and had it tuned, and that was right before I started getting sick. So the plan was to, go over and double check everything and take it for a drive. And that was gonna be like the end of that video, but anyway, so sometimes stuff happens, so a little behind, but anyway, I still need to double check everything, check all the fluids, make sure I ain't got no wires or anything down on the exhaust. Speaking of exhaust, I've got to get under it and fix the passenger side exhaust is loose. I don't know if I broke a hanger or one of my welds broke or whatever. That's probably more likely because I'm a horrible welder. But yeah, we had, put this car together year before last and took it on power tour last year. And that was the point of doing all this stuff we just did to the car, was I wanted to make a little more power. The car did fine on power tour other than the rear end's going out. It just, I don't know, it just wasn't peppy enough for me. We did drive it a little bit the day we tuned it, so it does feel like it has a little more power. I was kind of worried, I spent all that time and money and was like, what if this doesn't make a difference? But it made, well, a little bit, I could tell it definitely made a little bit of difference. And this last weekend, or this is the weekend, this last week, they announced the stops for Power Tour 24. So it's a good route for us. It's not too far away to the stop, or to the start or the end of it. So we're definitely going to try to do it this year. I've already registered, already got hotel rooms booked. So the only thing really left is the rear end. I kind of went back and forth on whether or not to just fix this one or like order a 9-inch for it. I didn't want to go with a little bit lower gears anyway, so I just went ahead and ordered a complete 9-inch from Quick Performance. It says it'll be a few weeks out getting that, so it'll be a little while before we get that. And other than that, unless we have some catastrophic failure between now and then, there's really nothing the car needs to go on power tour. I will have to recharge the AC system. There's a few things I would like to do, but they're not like necessities. I would like to upgrade the headlights. We don't really drive a lot at night, but coming home, maybe we might drive on into the night a little bit. So I would like to be able to see better, and I would like for people to be able to see me. So I got that. The back glass leaks just a little bit. I need to fix that. Just little piddly stuff. I'd like to put, when I put the rear end in, I'd like to put coilovers on the back, but I don't know if we're gonna do that or not. We'll just see. But the biggest thing is just getting it all back together and done, and then put miles on it between now and then to make sure there's, give it a good shakedown, make sure you don't have any major issues. Last year, like, I was working on this thing the night before we left and didn't think it would make it. Like, when we left here, I told my wife, I was like, I just don't feel comfortable that we're gonna make it. And I was surprised we made it out of our state, but it made the whole trip with just minor little setbacks, nothing too major, nothing we couldn't handle. So I'm hoping that we have a good smooth trip this year. I'm really excited about it. I am ready. We had so much fun last year, so I'm hoping this year is just as trouble-free as this last year was. But yeah, we had a ball. But yeah, just to recap, we did a different set of heads. I put 706 heads on it that had been surfaced and they'd been cut for bigger valves. I put a BTR truck Norris cam in it. It's got a Trailblazer SS intake on it with a 92mm throttle body, bigger injectors. But that's all we did to the engine. But it seems to run pretty good. It sounds good. It definitely has a little more low end, which is what I was wanting. It will do a burnout, so we're gonna have to duplicate that process though when we do take it for a drive. I'll see if we can make some tire smoke and try to think of what else has been going on. That's about it. Like I don't know what's been wrong with me the last couple weeks. I don't know if it's like a sinus infection or what, but I've been down and it's just lingering. It won't go away. But I do feel a lot better, so I feel like getting out here today. Of course, I've been out here for a while. The shop was a mess, so I spent a pretty good while cleaning up. I really need to go through and really clean up and organize, because once we get this car done, this car will never be done, but when we can be done messing with it for a while, I'm gonna try to find a place other than in here to park it. I don't like leaving it outside. Not that I'm worried that it's gonna get hurt or anything, but because I mean, look at it. But we're going into bad weather. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to start snowing here tonight and snow all day tomorrow. And then I think the lows Monday are going to be in the negatives, like with the wind chill. So I don't really want to leave it sitting outside during that stuff. But the plan is to either start, well, we're going to start on this car for sure. It's time. This car has been sitting for way too long. I know I've talked about it before about how I wanted to wait until I could do it right, but that ain't never gonna happen. So we just need to get it together and running and driving. I really don't know which direction I'm gonna go with it just yet. I can't just slap it together though. I do need to put a floor pan in it. The floor pan is really bad. I want to fix that, but other than that, there's rust around the front and rear glass that'll have to be fixed. And other than that, that's it. I might actually primer this one all black. I don't know, we'll just see. And I really didn't want to run this motor because it's just basically stock. But it runs. And I've had a few people comment on my videos when we were putting the motor in here to test run it that I have overfilled it with oil. When I bought, or I didn't buy it, I traded for this motor. The guy told me that it had like an 8-quart pan on it or whatever, and I didn't even look at it. I just took him for his word. And with the dipstick, like 8 quarts is on the mark. Well, somebody, I can't remember whoever it was that pointed it out, that they could see in the video that it was just a stock pan. So I've looked, it looks just like all my other stock pans. So I believe they're, all those guys that, you know, called me out on putting too much oil in it are right. So I'm going to drain some oil out of it and run it again. Because what they're saying is it's got too much oil in it, so the crank is hitting it and it's frothing the oil up. And so when it gets to operating temperature, you know, that aerates the oil and makes the oil pressure drop. So it makes sense. But yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the dipstick, why it showed. Well, I don't know if the tube is like bent and got the dipstick at a weird angle. Because the dipstick, the bottom part of the dipstick comes in from the bottom. Like you have to have the oil pan off to get to it. And I didn't even pay any attention when I had the pan off when we were putting the oil pump in and stuff. But like I said, I think I put 7 quarts in it, and it is still not showing full. Like it's on the first dot. So, I mean, if you go by this stick, it takes 8 quarts. So that can't be right. If that is a stock pan, I mean, these only hold like 5.5, 6 quarts maybe. So, once again, you know, my dumb ass probably cost myself more work than I needed. So there probably wasn't nothing wrong with this motor to begin with. Oh well. But yeah, this motor was in that car the year before last, like, you know, I don't remember, 6 months or so before maybe we had committed to going to Power Tour, and that's why I got LS swapped, because I thought this motor wasn't no good, so we inked all that out and put the LS motor in it that I had already put together for something else. So anyway, I know we've talked about this before if you've watched my videos, so this is just repetitive, but anyway, what I was getting at about this motor not really being the one I want to run in here, but it would get the car moving under its own power for now, and then I can build a motor later like I want and put in it. So I think that's what we're going to do. I am going to pull the motor back out, because I do want to pull the body off the frame, because I want to put a full one-piece pan in it, a lot less welding, and I, like I said, am a horrible welder, so the less welding I got to do, the better. And I need to go through like all my stuff. I have so many parts and pieces, new and used, for these cars, and I don't really remember what all I have. I know I've got a brand new booster and master cylinder somewhere. I know I've got good calipers somewhere, new rotor somewhere, and springs. I got new springs, and I have some tubular control arms here somewhere that were on my son's 72 Le Mans that were never run. Like, we put them on after he wrecked it, and then it was just sitting, and then we tore it all apart, discarded it out. So I kept those. All the boots are dry rotted, so I may go through and put like new ball joints in it, like some good quality. Moog used to be the quality ones. I don't know if that's still the case or not, but so we could put tubular control arms, go through all the brakes and suspension while the body's off the frame, maybe paint the frame, get the floor pan in, and then set it back on there and just get it back together and make it run and drive. And then, like I said, I could upgrade later. I can build the motor I want to put in it. I think that makes more sense than just letting it continue to just sit waiting for me to think I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, instead of just getting it going and running and driving. This is a 4-speed car also. I did rob a bunch of the parts and pieces off of this when I put that car together. The first time, when I first put this car together, the gray car, it didn't have anything. I mean, it's originally a 4-speed car also, but a bunch of shit was missing. So when I first put it together, it had this motor, and I just had an old Turbo 350 I stuck in it. Had issues with that transmission, so it came out, and I put all the 4-speed stuff. So I robbed some stuff off this. I took like all the linkages and the Z-bar, all that, and the brackets. And then I had the pedal assembly that was in this car. Something was wrong with it. I don't remember what. So I pulled the pedals out of this car. So this car is missing everything. So I'll have to get all that stuff. It's all still on that car, other than the linkages and stuff. I took all that out, but the pedals and everything are still in it. But I don't want to take them out of that car, because eventually I would like to get, maybe once I get this car going, we may go back and put all Pontiac stuff back in that car. And it'll go back 4-speed also. So I'll have to get all that stuff somewhere. I'll have to source that somewhere, which I may have it I may have this stuff somewhere. I've got 30 years of parts accumulation in this building somewhere. There's no and forget what I have and what I don't have. So that happens when you get old like me. I know I'll buy something because I think I need it, and then after I get it, and then like 2 months later, I'll stumble across what I just bought on a shelf over here somewhere. So I've got to start looking before I buy stuff and see what I have and what I don't have. But anyway, that's the plan right now, is to get the gray car ready to go for Power Tour in June. I know that's still a long, it's still a long ways to go, but it'll be here before you know it. Like the weeks and months start clicking by when you've got a deadline. So, but luckily I think we're ahead of the game a little bit. Like the car does run and drive. I mean, I could take it just like it is right now. Other than the rear end, I'm just afraid it ain't gonna make another 2,500 mile trip, because it was making all kinds of racket last year. I mean, I've drove it around quite a bit since then, just around here close, and it's not a big deal, but I don't really want to get 3 states, 4 states away and blow the rear end out of this thing, and then have to either fix it on the side of the road or have to get it hauled all the way from like Kentucky or whatever back to Arkansas. So that's why I bit the bullet and spent the money on the 9-inch. And I'll eventually fix that rear end that's in it and put it in something else. I don't know. This car's got the 12 bolt in it, but it's like got 308s, I think, in it, and that rear end is 373. So I may fix it and put it in here for now, or whatever. I don't know. And if my son still thinks he wants to fix his Le Mans back, that's just a shell. It's got a bent frame, but he's got a new frame for it. But other than that, it's just a bare shell. So I may let him use it in that if he ever does anything with it. Which, I mean, it can be done. When I started on this gray car, that's all it basically was just a bare shell and a frame. So there's not a nut or a bolt on that car I haven't touched. I mean, I had to basically scrounge parts from multiple different parts cars and parts that I've accumulated over the years just to make it whole. And so, I mean, we can do it with his car. The bad thing about it is, believe it or not, it's easier to find parts for a GTO than it is for a 71 or 72 Le Mans, which is a 72. They don't make aftermarket fenders, bumpers, none of that stuff, and he's missing all that stuff. And finding them, used is impossible. So I don't know. I may just get him to. I may talk him into cloning it. It'd be a lot easier and a lot cheaper to actually just put like a GTO front end on it. But I know people, get pissy about that. But whatever, they get pissy about the LS motors in them too. And speaking of that, I get so many people that just do not understand why I'm not painting this car. Like, they're just floored by it. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, what color are you gonna paint it?" I have no intentions of painting it, and they're just like, "What? What are you talking about? Why not?" It's like, well, for one, it's expensive, and I can't do it myself. I've never painted a car or did body work in my life, so I'm not gonna paint it. And if I ever spend the money to have something actually painted and made nice, it's going to be this car here. But yeah, I have no intentions of painting this car. Somebody asked the other day, and they were like, "Well, are you at least going to primer it one color?" Nope. It's going to look just like it does right now. The most I might do is put some patch panels in the rear quarters where the rust is. And other than that, I'm not doing anything to it but drive it and have fun with it. Because right now, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry if it gets scratched or if it gets dirty or somebody leans on it, and I don't have to polish. I mean, I still wash it, like, I still clean it, but I don't have to like wax it or polish it. Or I think I polished the wheels one time on this car, and it was just like, that's too much work. Like, I don't want to do that. And like, I go to car shows in it, and you see them old timers and them, with them nice cars, I'll get there when it starts and you can tell they've been there for hours. Like, it's 100 degrees. They're sweating out there, just polishing and shining, and they'll spend hours doing that. Every car show, it's like, oh, no, not me. I ain't doing that. It's too much work. Of course, I've never had anything like that. I mean, I'm sure if I had something that was that nice, I'd probably do that too, but I don't, and don't really want anything like that right now. I would rather have something like this that I can go have fun, and I get a lot of attention in this car, so I don't think most people don't care that it's not painted. They still think it's cool, so it's going to continue to look just like it does right now. But this one here, like I said, one day maybe it might get painted, but it will at least be, you know, a solid color. It'll be flat black. It's been flat black for the whole time I've had it, but it's like rattle canned. Like when we were kids, we just rattle canned it. But I may do like an actual, like, satin black with a spray gun or something. Give it a shot and see. And but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So I'm going to try to get the exhaust fixed on this thing, do a few little checks, and then we might try to go take it for a spin if we can get it done before the weather gets here, and see what this thing will do. All right, let's take this thing for a spin and see if all that hard work paid off. Another issue I was having before I did all this, I don't know if it was just the cam that was in it before or we just didn't have it tuned just 100%, but it would die like if you came to a hard stop or a sudden stop, which sucked if you were in traffic. But I think we got all that fixed too, I hope. So, but I mean, even just pulling off from a slow stop like that, I can tell we've definitely got more power for sure. Still cruises real good. Still got really good oil pressure. Everything seems to be doing what it's supposed to. Do a kind of hard stop. Yeah, see, before it would die right there, like it would just, or surge real bad. So really glad we got that fixed. stoppers around anywhere. I'm sure don't need to get no tickets. Still got some air leaks, but ain't no big deal. Cruising a little over 50 right now. Be happy with it. Charging system good. Got 55 pounds of oil pressure. GoPro still attached to the back glass, so see what it'll do from a dead stop, not power braking it, just flooring it. Yeah, it wouldn't do that before. Definitely wouldn't do that before. Yeah, the only way you could make it even spin a tire before was like you had to power brake it, and even then it kind of struggled, so. The rear end I ordered with 411s too, so I'm hoping that'll give us a little more down low also, and I may wind up putting like a 3000 stall in it. I haven't decided yet, but everybody tells me it'll make a big difference, but I really don't want to pull the transmission out of this car because it is such a tight fit in there. It's just going to be a pain in the ass, but I mean, I don't know, we'll see. Most of that'll be dependent on time and money between now and power tour. Well, I'll tell you what, these roads in Arkansas suck. They're just rough as hell. It definitely, I mean, I feel like it made quite a bit of difference. I'm happy with it. I mean, it was quite a bit of money and a lot of work and time, but it definitely made a difference. So it would have really been disappointing if I did all that and it didn't run no better than it did before, but get away with a little smoke show here. I'm happy with it. So definitely an improvement. little bit of a surge going from like reverse back to drive, so may have to get the tuner to tweak it a little bit still. But other than that, I think we're good. One other thing, I know I've talked about it before, but I hate that shifter, so we might get a new shifter for it too between now and power tour, but I mean, that's definitely not a got-to thing. It's just, you know, be a lot nicer if it had a better shifter in it, but all right, I think that's definitely an improvement. All right, that was a successful test drive. Had a little fun. That's really the first, other than the day I tuned it or had it tuned, that's the first time I've drove the car, so I'm pretty happy with it. It's definitely got a little bit more low end, which is what we were after. It'll smoke the tires, so that'll be good on power tour. We'll be able to have a little fun. Still cruises down the highway good. It's real tame, you know, just driving it normal. That's a good thing about these LS motors. You can make a lot of power with them and still have good drivability, you know. I remember the very first LS vehicle I ever owned, I bought a 2006 GTO when they came out. I didn't buy it new. It had like 7,000 miles on it when I bought it. And that was the first thing like that I'd ever owned. I mean, I'd had hot rods before that were old school, carbureted. You know, I'd had a few, you know, Pontiac stuff and some big block Chevrolet stuff. And, you know, it's different having something that you can drive around in a daily driver and just have normal characteristics of any car until you know, get on it and then, you know, have a little fun with it. I like that, so. But anyway, I think that's about it for right now on this car. Until the rear end comes in, which, like I said, I know that'll be probably at least, I'm gonna guess probably 3 weeks before it gets here. And like I said, between now and then I may order some coilovers. I don't know. We'll see. Coilovers are expensive. Whew, man. Which, I mean, the rear end wasn't cheap either, but I just know I'm going to spend quite a bit trying to build this rear end, and then it's probably not going to be right when I get done with it. So I just bit the bullet on that and went ahead and ordered just a complete unit from them. Just get it here and get it bolted in. It should be good to go. But anyway, at some point we may tear into this rear end and see what's going on with it. I figure it's just bearings. Nothing too major, so I'll get that done. But I do think, like I said, we'll still be working on this car off and on, getting ready for power tour. But I think we're definitely going to start on the black car. I at least need to get it like cleaned out and get the motor out of it and start getting the body pulled off the frame. I know I'm just repeating myself, but OCD. But it's got a bunch of crap inside of it. I need to get it all out and just really kind of assess the damage. Like, I mean, this car's just been sitting for so long. I don't know what all's wrong. I don't know where all the rust is. I know the trunk pan is good enough. I don't think we'll have to replace it. And I haven't pulled the back glass out. I'm just assuming it's rusted. Like down here, they rust real bad, and across there. Unfortunately, I let this car sit outside for a while. At the time, had no choice. I know down in here, like, it's just full of leaves and just nasty crap. So I'm hoping all that's not rotted out, but, you know, unfortunately it probably is. So I don't know, you know, what that entails fixing that. But I need to get it, I really need to get it outside and pressure washed once I get it cleaned out, because it's got years worth of, you know, barn dust. I could scrape that off and probably sell it to these guys that, you know, thinks these barn finds are so worth so much money. But anyway, you know, I need my ass whooped for letting this car get in this bad a shape, but it just happens sometimes. Life gets in the way. But This has all been hacked up. I'm gonna smooth the firewall. I do hope to have AC on this car also, because it gets hot as shit in Arkansas in the summer. And I'm old and spoilt, so, you know. I do a lot of things on a budget, but when it comes to certain things, I don't mind spending money on, you know, stuff that's gonna make my life easy, like air conditioning or buying that rear end for the gray car, just because, like I said, I don't want to have to build a rear end and then rely on it to make a 3,000 mile trip. But I'm thinking flat black like it used to be. I don't know, I got a set of Rally 2s over there. Just they were on this car for a little while. I really kind of want to go with like these steel wheels with the little dog dish hubcaps, and you know, maybe some 8s on the back. Just kind of make it just plain looking. I don't know, what do y'all think? This car used to have slotted mags on it when I was in high school, and I went from that to Krager's, like old school Krager SS's. And of course, you know, that was long before cell phones and all that, so I don't have any like pictures of it. I don't have many. I have a couple of like old Polaroids and stuff, but anyway. But yeah, I remember one time it had like some N50s on the back, and I had it like jacked up real high in the back. Looks, you know, we thought it was cool as hell back then, but it's, you know, it really looks stupid. But yeah, I think maybe getting it lower just a tiny bit, and the steel wheels and dog dish hubcaps and some flat black paint, and make it run and drive, and, you know, kind of like this car, you know, mechanically have it sound and was decent interior, and just have some fun with it. And then of course we still got this pile of crap that I need to do something with. I got too many projects, but so we might, you know, work back and forth between those two. And I don't know when I'm going to start on this truck. My little red truck, my little GMC, has got a 4.8 in it. It runs fine, but, you know, don't have any power. So thinking about building this 6-liter here to put in that truck, and then when I pull that 4.8 out, put the 4.8 in here and just make it a cruiser for my wife. She don't care if it, you know, makes a lot of power or not, you know. And of course right now she currently owns the fastest thing we have with that little Ford truck she's got with the 5.0. That little bastard is quick, so. But anyway, I think that's where I want to end this video. I got to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish today, so that was check it over and then take it for a spin. And of course, now that I've took it for a spin, I probably need to go back over it, make sure nothing's leaking and nothing's loose, but we'll do that later. I'm still feeling a little under the weather, so I ain't feeling just super industrious today. But anyway, at least I got the shop clean, and we got to go make a little tire smoke. So I appreciate everybody watching, and hopefully on the next one we'll either be working on the black car or putting a rear end in this one. See y'all next time. Thanks.